Today, we are talking to Kendrick Ashton, the co founder and co CEO of the St. James Sports, Wellness, and Active Entertainment Complex. For those of you that are not familiar with this facility, you will be soon. This is a 450,000 square foot campus that sits on 20 acres of land here in the Washington, D.C. area. To get an idea of the sheer size of the state-of-the-art sports facility, let's take a quick look.
Okay.
All right, Kendrick. So let's dive into this incredible vision that has come to fruition. So, what inspired you to come up with this amazing facility? What inspired you?
Well, like many young men that grow up in this country, I grew up playing every sport you could imagine all the time. And I was incredibly competitive and incredibly focused on getting better. And one of the major frustrations from my time as a young athlete was constantly being told that I couldn't have access to certain spaces to train and compete and play. And I carried that frustration around for a very long time. And I loved when I got to college the fact that I had spaces available to me 24 hours a day where I could train and compete. And so as I moved along in my career, I was an investment banker in New York for close to 15 years. I continued to harbor this idea of creating spaces where principally young people would have what I call an unbroken boulevard of green lights for them to train and pursue their passions. And so at the core of the idea at the St. James was 10-year-old Kendrick, 12-year-old Kendrick, who was absolutely unequivocally devoted to becoming a great athlete to train.
Mhm.
And so it was originally designed around that customer, that 10-year-old, that 12-year-old, that 14-year-old who wants to play at a high level in high school, wants to play in college, wants to compete in the Olympics, and is looking for world class spaces, world class programs, and world class coaches to really help them grow and develop. We thought a lot about what synergies would be highly impactful on that core experience, and that's where the rest of the St. James blossomed from. So we built around this 12-year-old fanatic that was me, and we thought about that fanatic's sisters, that fanatic's brothers, that fanatic's mom, and it really blossomed into this idea of being the center of the universe for every community that we're in. And so we not only have these incredible training and playing spaces, but we've also got world class food and beverage experience. We've got a world class meta spa experience. We've got a world class active entertainment experience. We've got a world class health club. And the combination of all those things really makes the St. James a modern country club, a modern, highly accessible, sports oriented lifestyle experience. And, we're delivering on that experience every day. So here we are.
Yeah, a country club for sports enthusiasts. So modern
That's
day
right.
country club. I love that. I love that. So you have to be serious then to come to this facility. Is that a fair statement? You have to be serious about sports and wellness.
No, I wouldn't say you have to be serious. I would say that we have something for everybody. We have something for people that are casual. We have something for people that are looking to learn and they're not sure about whether or not they're passionate about something. We have, something for people who, um, are past their prime, so to speak, but looking to continue to participate and have fun. And we certainly are very focused on the family. So, how can we support families in spending more time together and enjoying their passions both together and independently? So you don't have to be an elite athlete or some sort of extraordinarily serious fitness enthusiast or triathlete or any of the above. We really do want to be a center of the community. And so if you're just looking for fun, you're looking to be active, we're that place for you as well.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I was reading in USA Today where you were talking about this whole concept around the family. And so was the idea to have, your son at basketball, your husband could be working out, you can get your nails done, and then you all meet for dinner under one roof. Is that kind of what your vision
That's
was?
right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And it's really played out as we expected in many respects. But what I'll tell you I've been most surprised by is how many parents really enjoy watching their kids in practice. And so while I would have said 75% of the time parents will be taking advantage of the other things that we have to offer for them.
Okay.
One of the things that I think we did well was creating spaces for parents just to watch practice comfortably. Because there are a lot of venues and spaces where parents go to watch games and practices where it's just excruciatingly painful for them to do that. And it should not have surprised me because people are busy, and I don't think anybody's spending as much time with their kids as they'd like to. And so it's really been gratifying to see how many parents are just sitting there in the stands saying, "Hey, I just want to watch my kid, practice for an hour and a half." So that's been great. But that's exactly right, Michelle. We designed this so that everybody could do something that was exciting and interesting for them, independent of each other, and also do things together. And that's what we're seeing in the everyday experience that we're delivering to families at St. James.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And talk a little bit about, I mean, this is maybe Washington D.C. specific at this particular time, but the traffic, right? So as a mom, typically I would have to drive to one facility, drop my son off, drive to another facility, get my nails done, drive to another facility, work out. So that also makes it very, very convenient for families, especially if you live in major metropolitan areas.
That's right. I mean, it's a one-stop experience for sports, wellness, and active entertainment. And I think people can imagine what the sports are. And we serve, generally speaking, we serve more than 20 sports, upwards of 30. Um, on the wellness front, we've got a Meta Spa, which is branded Courted, which is a play on both all the courts that we have in our complexes. It's also a play on our brand, which is the St. James, which is derived from the Court of St. James, and it's also a play on the word to court, which is to seek favor, or to treat with favor, or to pursue. Um, and so that's the brand of our Meta Spa. And we're super focused on being a five-star hospitality experience. And so that's a big part of our wellness offering. You can get a full range of rejuvenation services. So a full range of massages, all your sort of soft tissue treatments, compression, stretching, cupping. Um, then we've got IV infusions. We've got cryotherapy, which is your modern ice tub experience, which is an incredibly effective way of removing inflammation and enhancing overall health. Um, and a number of other offerings on the rejuvenation front.
Mhm.
Um, and then we've got a full range of cosmetic services as well. So we've got waxing and facials and mani pedis, as you mentioned, and cool sculpting, which is a non-invasive way of body sculpting. Um, we've got Botox, we've got filler, we've got lashes. So we've got a really comprehensive range of cosmetic services. When I usually go through that list of cosmetic services, people tend to think that our customers are overwhelmingly women, but you'd be surprised, or some would be surprised to learn the number of men who are getting Botox and are getting facials and are getting cool sculpting. They're not just getting the massage services, but they're really taking part in a full range of services, including the cosmetic services. So we try to position the brand as being both for men and for women, for athletes and for non-athletes, and we're getting pretty good traction with that. So we've got a whole range of wellness services. Within the wellness bucket as well, we've got a 50,000 square foot premium health club, which has got close to 100 group fitness classes a week. It's got Pilates, it's got spin classes, it's got high performance classes, it's got high intensity classes, it's got world class strength and conditioning and cardio and selectorized and plate loaded equipment. We've got a high performance center with 12 weightlifting racks for all your explosive Olympic movements. We've got turf. So we've got this health club experience, which is an incredible wellness offering. We've got a partnership with MedStar, which is the best healthcare system in the region, where they've got physical therapy, rehab, primary care, sports medicine, and other primary care services, where they're serving the entire market with a bunch of healthcare services. Um, so we've got pretty robust set of wellness services, and then we've got in the lifestyle bucket uh, a really incredible food and beverage experience that we partnered with Spike Mendelson on, and we've got this incredible menu of food and smoothies and sandwiches and salads and bowls that are positioned and designed to be what we call healthy-ish, which is locally sourced, organic, and healthy, but also delicious. We are not compromising taste at the altar of healthy. We're combining the two.
Right. That's
So we give you a little indulgence of taste along with your health. So we've got this really comprehensive set of offerings um, that serve many customer journeys. And I haven't even gotten to the active entertainment yet, which I'll hold
yeah.
until another time. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot to cover, and you've already covered a lot. So the place
yeah.
is massive. Um, so tell me then, obviously with the pandemic, so how has the business changed, or how have you had to pivot given all of these services during the pandemic?
Sure. I'll give you a couple examples. So when we sort of laid out our roadmap to developing the business, we expected that over the medium term, over the first, kind of 3 to 5 years, we would build uh, a meaningful digital business where we could serve our health club customers and our sports customers digitally. And we had a reasonably aggressive game plan to do that. And when the pandemic engulfed everybody and we had to close our doors, we accelerated those plans. So we developed the St. James Anywhere, and we were offering group fitness and personal training via
Vir-
the very streaming virtual capacities that are out there. and had incredible engagement with our customers via those channels, and are now, comprehensively building out a digital universe of assets. We also did a tremendous amount of sports training and sports instruction digitally as well. And we learned a tremendous amount from that. And it allowed us not only to learn about how we should be designing our products and services digitally, but it allowed us to really stay connected to our customers. And so when we came out of the hiatus, on both the personal training and group fitness fronts and on the sports front, we had tremendous amount of traction with the customer and trust and loyalty because we provided opportunities for them to remain active in the midst of this whole thing. So that was one big pivot. The second that I mentioned is that we launched a virtual school experience at St. James, so that families that needed some space and time for their kids to engage in virtual school um, with some support could do that. So there are lots of families who um, just needed somewhere to take their kids
Yeah.
while they were zooming into their offices and doing all the stuff they had to do with work. And so we developed an experience through the St. James where families could have their kids come for the school day. They'd be proctored, and then they'd have these athletic experiences that would be layered into break times, and then after their synchronous learning virtually. So that's been another really interesting pivot point for us, and we've been pretty excited about that. And it's given us a lot of thoughts around how we could be more supportive to the academic experiences of our customers going forward. So we're looking forward to rolling some of those things out.
Yeah, wonderful. No, that's great, especially because you're sitting in front of a computer all day. Our kids are doing that now. And so that's critical to be able to still have those physical activities. So I think that's brilliant. Brilliant.
It really is. I mean, we sort of take for granted the ability to get up and walk around, and
Yeah,
certainly for our kids to have recess and to have PE and to be engaged in their sports. And I think while by and large this pandemic has been a total catastrophe, I think we've learned a lot about what's important and what's valuable. And I think um, we could not have gotten a better exhibit for the need for people to be active and to be pursuing their passions. And so, we try to have a mindset of gratitude and a mindset of resourcefulness and a mindset of growth. And that leads one to look at every situation as an opportunity, and to try to find the gratitude in the midst of every single storm. And there's no doubt that everybody knows that if you're not healthy, if you're not active,
yeah,
you're asking for trouble. And I think we were increasingly aware of that pre-pandemic, but
sure.
I think this was a real powerful example for people. And I think that businesses that are generally in this space benefit enormously from people's commitments to being healthy and being active.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, now more than ever, it's your health is critical for
Yeah.
sure. So, how do you inspire others through your work? How would you say, like, either through the St. James, or I know you have a couple of other business ventures, how do you inspire folks through your work?
Well, I mean, I don't know how I personally inspire people through my work. I can venture to guess, and I can tell you what I try to do, but I don't know if it's effective or not. What I'll say is that in each of the spaces that I'm in, and particularly at the St. James, I think people um, love the opportunities that are made available to them at the St. James. And I think the energy and the positivity and the opportunities that are available really do motivate people. And our anthem for the first 2 years that we've been open, and is a direct extension of our brand and our mission, is welcome to your best.
Mm-hmm.
And at every touch point of what we do at the St. James, we are encouraging people to work towards maximizing their potential. And we want to be that platform, that main support system, that main change agent for people to maximize their potential. So I'm hopeful that the environment and the experiences that we're developing, and the intentional messaging that we're giving to people about um, their potential and what they're capable of is inspiring the folks. What I personally try to do is to be an energy giver and to hold myself accountable to being excellent. And I hope that the spirit with which I engage with people on a day in and day out basis, and the sheer love that I have for humanity, is a source of joy and a source of inspiration for people. And so that's how I try to live, with love at the center of my life, and
Yeah.
um, with my own commitment to trying to maximize my potential. And I hope people see that and are encouraged by it. Um, so I guess that's how I'd answer that question.
And that's great. No, I would agree with that. I think kindness is key, right? So, and
Indeed.
even before the pandemic. So, and I love what you said about welcome to your best. So, as you're walking into the facility, you see that as you're walking in, it's like the mantra, so to speak, and it's so true. You know, you're there to become the best version of yourself that you can be. So, I love
That's
that.
right.
I love that. So
Thank
tell
you.
me, what's your ultimate goal or your ultimate measure of success with the St. James?
So when we set out to build this business, we really had global ambitions. We thought that the opportunity was massive. We thought that it was not only a massive opportunity nationally, domestically in the United States. We thought there was a global opportunity, and I will feel as if the business has been successful when we've built a global reputation for excellence in sports, wellness, and entertainment. And we've got, as I mentioned earlier, not only the St. James, which is this mega in-person sports, wellness, and entertainment lifestyle experience. But within the St. James, we've got these lifestyle experiences. And so not only do I believe that we can build the St. James globally, but I believe we can build Corded, which is our Meta Spa brand, Vim and Victor, which is our food and beverage brand, Super Awesome and Amazing, which is our active entertainment brand, and Strivers, which is our retail boutique experience globally. I believe that the St. James can be the anchor for really extraordinary live, work, and play developments.
Mhm.
Um, and I believe that we can have a really significant experiential business outside of the venues that we build and develop, in-person experiential business. So that's road races, and that's tournaments, and that's triathlons, and that's cycling experiences, etc. I think we can have really extraordinary experiential businesses in venue that are non-sports experiences, so music concerts and comedy concerts and lecture series and cooking classes, and financial, uh, uh, planning classes and
Mhm.
college prep classes. Um, and then we can have a significant digital business as well.
Right.
So when we start to realize that expansive vision, that's when I'll feel as if we have been successful. But we did not set out to build one of these as great as building one is, we did not set out to build one in the Great Washington region. We really did have global ambitions.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if we can go through it really quick, so the next location would be what, Chicago? Is that correct?
That's right. So we own 40 acres, just over 40 acres in a town, a really extraordinary town called Lincolnshire, which is just north of the city of Chicago. Our site is at the intersection of I-94 and Half Day Road. It's visible from I-94, and it'll be the first full campus experience that we are designing and building. So we will have a plus or minus 500,000 square foot D. St. James on the campus, but we've got enough acreage to have other synergistic experiences on the campus, and we're pretty excited to unveil what some of those things will be. Um, and I'm hopeful that we will work our way through what's been put in front of us with this pandemic and come out of the other end of it, much smarter and much sharper. And hopefully, in the next couple of years, be in a position to be open in Chicago and delivering a year-round experience in Chicagoland, which
Wow.
is an extraordinary market, extraordinary region of the country, but has absolutely horrific weather, which is great for the St. John.
Yeah,
So,
perfect for the
you
St.
know,
James.
I went to law school and business school at the University of Chicago, the great
Yeah.
University of Chicago, and I know firsthand how horrible the weather is.
Yeah.
Uh, and so the summers are extraordinarily, ridiculously hot, and the winters are brutally cold. And it will be 72 degrees every day at the St. James. So,
I love that. I love that. Well, the Chicago, the great people of Chicago, because of course I'm originally from the Midwest as well. So they
yep.
say Chicago is the best city in the summer. It's the best city in the world in the summer. It's the winter that it gets a little tricky. But you're right. This is perfect. This is perfect for Chicago.
Yeah.
This concept is perfect for
Indeed.
Chicago. Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. I will say that Chicago is extraordinary. It's one of the world's great cities, but
Yes.
that is in spite of the weather. It's not. The summer does not really help. You get about 2.5 or 3 weeks, and then it
Oh,
becomes a total sweltering oven.
okay,
So
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, and I think some of our
okay,
viewers would as well. So we get at least 3 months, right?
three
So
months of
Memorial
great weather. Oh, please. No,
Memorial Day through Labor Day, at least, and
all
then
right,
it's winter outside of that, yeah.
sure.
What are the other locations though? So Chicago, obviously. What are the other markets that you are eyeing? If you can let us know that.
Yeah, we're looking at all the major markets in the country. So we're looking at Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is an incredible market because you've got both LA County and Orange County. We're looking at San Diego. We're looking at San Francisco. We're looking at Seattle. We're looking at Denver. We're looking at Minneapolis. We're looking at Austin, Houston, Dallas. We're looking at Miami. We're looking at the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, submarkets, Philadelphia. So we're looking at all the major markets in the country, and then we're looking at great cities like Charlotte and Nashville, which are not as big as some of the markets I just mentioned, but have extraordinarily active communities, um, very significant commitment to sports, and tremendous growth as well. So
Yeah.
there are no surprises in terms of the markets we're looking at. And if anybody's got a great location or any great ideas, feel free to reach out. We're looking for all the help we can get.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would give business leaders as we're, talking about this and this amazing vision that you've created. It's come to fruition. So I think people would want to know, especially business leaders or entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would give them?
Um, it's a really tough question for me to answer because there's so much to share about this kind of experience. I would share maybe three things. One is um, design into your schedule and your life uh, time to spend with the people you love, because these experiences can be all consuming, and um, you set out to build something, and um, you know everybody knows it's going to be incredibly difficult, and as a consequence of the difficulty and the challenges that you will invariably face, it can take over your life entirely. And so I would say one respite that I would recommend that everybody seek is really designing into your lifetime with the people you love. I would say a close second to that is to design into your schedule time for you to think. So there's a lot of doing, and you need time to take a step back and think, to provide yourself the opportunity to be more strategic, and more resourceful than responding to things in the pace that you usually do on a day in and day out basis. So finding days, half a day, half a week that you can build into your calendar where you can take time and just think and reflect. It will allow you to really be a force multiplier for your business in the short term and medium term if you design that kind of time into your overall schedule. The third thing I would say is try to work with the absolute best people you can, and I think that's usually obvious in terms of the team that you're building internally, but I would say you've got to have the same kind of commitment to excellent with your external partners as well. So, the law firms and the accountants and any sort of consultants or creatives, I don't care how small your business is. A lot of people are going to tell you no, but shoot for the absolute best people to work with. And then finally, and this is an obvious one, but really carefully, pick your partners, in that, if that's a co-founder or a capital partner, um, you have to be really, really thoughtful about figuring out who you're going to work with over the long term, because these really are marriages, and um, you know, the business will succeed or fail on the basis of the quality of those core relationships.
Yeah.
So those are probably all pretty obvious pieces of advice, but I those are things that I would have benefited from if I'd heard them shared, in the early phase of building the St. James. So I've been lucky on all those fronts, and found really extraordinary partners, both my co-founder and um, my capital partners at Eldridge and Kane International,
Mhm.
and our lending partner, Security Benefit, all extraordinary. Then obviously my co-founder again, Craig Dixon,
Mhm.
um, and I couldn't ask for better partners. So
Yeah.
I've been lucky, but you know, you need to be lucky on that
You need
front.
to
You
be
really,
lucky. Yeah.
it's super, super important. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, that's really critical. But that's a great summary. Well, thank you so much, Kendrick. We really appreciate your time. I know you're super busy, but we really appreciate you taking the time out to speak to us. And we cannot wait to see, all that the St. James has to offer in the future. So best of luck to you and Craig and the entire St. James team.
Thank you, Michelle. It's been an honor to be with you, and I look forward to seeing you at the St. James soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much.